Hello and welcome back once again to the massive YouTube Iceberg. This is the penultimate episode of the series. I really thought I'd make it this far. It's been a crazy ride and I can only thank you for joining me on this journey. Today we're going to be finishing up tier 11 and yeah, I did not divide this tier up very well, did I? Wow. Let's waste no time then. Thank you to Soupy, Retro Tome, Ezra Valenti, Shroomish, Salute to the Lost, Venus, Scarf, Snail Demon, Toyminator 900, The Mungler, Bagus of Swaggus, Original and Unfunny, 80 Constant, Queen of Guaga, Hollowed, and the Biggest of Men, and everyone else on Patreon for supporting me. With all that out of the way, let's get into this. This is a channel that no longer exists, deleted for whatever reason in the past 3 years. This is something that happens often and gets progressively more annoying to deal with as we reach the end of the iceberg. I'm kind of going to be needing to pick up the pieces here and there from Reddit threads and reuploads and shit, and people like to make a lot of stuff up about the channel, so forgive me if I get anything wrong. Silk F, also known as other names such as Conjunction 27, Reptile 666, and Venus Argo, was a channel that existed on YouTube from the very early days. They initially would attract attention to themselves by going to videos from music artists and commenting disparaging things about their music, saying that their own music was so much better. They mainly focused on Aphex Twin videos, but they also did the same things to videos by Poppy, and probably others as well. Honestly, a very Spodrusian way of doing things, but the difference was that I'm not really sure if Silk F was trolling or not. I'm also not even really sure if Silk was the person commenting these, because she's known to have a lot of alternate accounts, and again, everything is fucking deleted and I have to take random people on the internet's words for some things. The music they would post would be mostly breakcore and IDM, very reminiscent of, again, Aphex Twin. That stands for intelligent dance music, by the way. It's not like EDM, which is for normies. You need a very high IQ to understand this genre. It even got to the point where people even questioned if this was some alternate account of Aphex Twins, but apparently no, and this is just some woman who happens to enjoy making music in this style. And her music, while it isn't always the kind of thing I listen to, is pretty well made. According to her, there have been prominent and famous artists who have told her that what she does is great. I don't know whether to believe her on that since she doesn't actually list anyone, but apparently she was an early collaborator with people like Poppy, Titanic Sinclair, and was even subscribed to by a pre-fame Grimes. Music isn't the only thing she would post, sometimes she'd just upload videos about her interests. Stuff like anatomy, black magic, and just other random shit. Her channel had thousands of uploads before it was deleted, in a very disorganized mindstream style of uploading. Now, the channel was not without its detractors. Many accused her of being a troll, hating on her music, or calling her a Satanist or stalker, or many other names. I don't really know why she got so much hate, but this wasn't exactly good for her mental health. I know I bring up people being possibly schizophrenic a lot in this series, but I do feel like that applies here. There are old videos of her freaking out over gang stalkers and interdimensional entities, and the online harassment certainly didn't help. It was apparently enough for her to completely abandon her YouTube channel and delete all of her videos, leading to much of her videos, including some of her music, to be lost to time. Which sucks, it really does. As always, I can only hope she's doing better nowadays. Thrift Shop SD Cards is a channel from 2014 with only 2 videos and is, from what I can tell, another abandoned horror series. Or I guess it could be real. Truthfully, there's not anything that's on this channel that's super unbelievable. The basic premise is that this guy likes going around thrift stores and buying used cameras and SD cards and just like seeing what's on them. The 2 videos uploaded are supposed to be 2 videos he found while searching, and both of them are from the early 2000s, around 2003 and 2004. IMG001971.mpg is a minute-long video of 2 teens looking at an abandoned school, and towards the end they hear a weird sound and mention a door moving on its own.
Wait a minute. Did you see that? Did that door just move? Did you? Nope. Nope. Did you see that? Like, was that a door that just moved?
IMG_0001.mpg is about 30 seconds long and features an extreme close-up of a man's eye, as he explains that they are in his eyes. While it might seem creepy and unusual, it's entirely possible that this guy is just talking about his contact lenses. It would explain why his eyes are so aggressively beautiful. Something also worth noting is that this guy appears to have a missing eyeball, so that's pretty crazy. I could be willing to believe these were really found the way the guy said they were. They're pretty authentic, and it's honestly not unbelievable that you could find this stuff by looking through used SD cards. On the other hand, though, it's entirely likely that these are scripted, and this is a horror series. Which honestly credits to this guy, because despite being abandoned and obscure, this is some pretty high quality stuff. I kinda wish we got the chance to see what more videos would be like had the channel uploaded more. The Zeroth folio of Shakespeare is kinda fucking creepy. It's a channel created in 2017 and over the course of around 3 years, uploaded a little over 500 videos. Every video is the title page of a Shakespeare book, with Shakespeare himself being edited to look weird, and sometimes his face is replaced with just static. The video's audio are distorted voices reading Shakespeare passages, coupled with creepy ambient noise. Every video is like this, though some do deviate from it a little bit, like something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Or I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream. This clearly isn't a super in-depth ARG, but it's unique and does a good job of setting an atmosphere. Sucks that, despite its 500 uploads, it never really went anywhere. What you just watched is 3D animated name.mov, an obscure animated video by Ice Blue Crystal Shadow in 2011. So I don't really know why this is on the Iceberg, and I don't really think the guy who uploaded it does either. In the description, he says that it was a project for his digital imaging class, and in the replies, someone brings up that they were brought here by Going Obscure, referring to his video, YouTube's Darkest Corners. Now, by skimming through this video, I initially came to the conclusion that this is where Potaplant got a ton of entries for this Iceberg. Like, he brings up a good handful of entries in the Iceberg we've already covered. Stuff that's even on this exact tier, like butterflies.flv, whythelongface.avi, and we kept driving. However, I got to the start of the video and I noticed something.
Many of these topics were found through the giant YouTube Iceberg made by Redditor PottedPlant444, if you want to give them some credit for all the hard work they did to make it.
The giant YouTube Iceberg, huh? By Potaplant444? Like, not massive? I didn't know he made more than one. Also, that's not even the right chart on screen. I recognize it instantly as the one made by Avargas, which was covered in Nessie Retro's video. Maybe I've been doing this YouTube Iceberg shit for way too long if I'm recognizing each and every YouTube Iceberg chart like this. Anyways, for some reason, he refuses to talk about 3D animated name.mov.
3D animated name.mov. Actually, never mind, let's not talk about that one.
There's nothing wrong with this video. It's honestly the least unsettling video in the entire tier. The uploader seems to laugh at the fact that he was pretending it was so mysterious. I think it's probably meant to be a joke, but also, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on Going Obscure, obviously. It's just kind of something funny to note. This video, the name of which translates to Bright World Fairies, according to Google Translate, is just this 3D animated girl standing in front of psychedelic visuals, dancing to some dude singing. People have pointed out that this woman's dancing is the Gary's Mod default dance, but as Richter Overtime points out in his Gmod's Biggest Secrets video, the animation is actually from a stock animation library, and this video and Gary's Mod were just pulling from the same source. Potaplant tells me that this site is called Animinium. I don't know how he found that out, but I would trust him on obscure YouTube knowledge with my life. Yeah, I don't care about the Gmod animation. Where is the rest of this video from? Well, this logo can actually be found on this DVD, Akarui Sekai. It has a My Anime List page and everything. Apparently it's directed by Soda Sugahara and Katsuki Tanaka, the former of which was also known for directing dghdfksjgfds, Fairies, a CG comedy anime, which is equally batshit insane and actually seemed to have a small fan base. There's bound to be a handful of people watching this video right now who's actually watched dghdfksjgfds Fairies and is going down to the comment section right now to comment dghdfksjgfds Fairies mentioned in all caps. Yeah, that's right, I'm talking to you. You're gonna die in 6 days. I appreciate Akarui Sekai because it's clearly just some guys messing around in whatever the fuck 3D platform they're using. And then they just sold it. It's 42 minutes long. I really want to watch it now. Yeah, so this one was seemingly completely wiped from the internet. Supposedly the airport interviews was some obscure YouTube video that eventually got posted to r/deep into YouTube that had something to do with the 2016 Pizzagate scandal. Or at least that's how Potted Plant remembers it, but yeah, trying to look up whatever the hell this was won't result in much. Can't say I didn't try. My best guess is that it could possibly refer to the original audio recording of Death Grip's interview 2016. Essentially, this was a video posted by Death Grips in 2016, which was supposedly an interview with the band. However, the audio was completely replaced with a new EP of theirs titled Interview 2016. To this day, the audio that was originally present in the recording is completely lost. Fans have attempted and failed to transcribe it over the years, and to this day they still don't know exactly what they're saying in the video, and the Death Grips 2016 interview original audio still shows up in various icebergs. That's honestly probably a gigantic stretch though, and I don't actually know what this entry is referring to. The video doesn't even take place in an airport and has nothing to do with Pizzagate, so I'm sorry, I'm fucking stupid, I'm sorry.
Hey, Daddy. I've missed you. Where have you been? You know what they say about big feet, right? Yeah? I want to be your boyfriend.
Yeah, so that's Clussy Daddy. This video was uploaded by Japanese Waifu in 2018, though it actually originated from an artist called Davio Falaveo, who does a lot of these homoerotic videos. Not really a whole much more to say about this one, it just kind of speaks for itself and has cemented itself as a classic of r/deep into YouTube. Allah, with ones instead of L's, is a channel created all the way back in 2006. His most popular video is My Mouth is Open Because I Am Hungry. This video is some kind of food-related performance art, and it goes on for 16 minutes. Another video is Are You Ready for Love, where a man appears to be eating bits and pieces from a girl's cut open body. According to the description of most of these videos, the guy who posted these is named Eric Danger Clark, and he's a performance artist. This channel is like really, really obscure. The most viewed video only has like 2,000 views, which is kind of crazy. Zigochen, or maybe Zigochen, was an obscure ARG that now only exists through reuploads and archives, particularly in this big video by Universe Twisters that has all of the videos of the ARG in chronological order. The description reads, Zigochen was some ARG I followed back in 2011 to 2012-ish. I don't know the whole gist of it other than some bitch named Athena doing some freaky brainwashing shit. Honestly, I just liked it because of the creepy shit. A few years ago, I downloaded a collection of the videos from some Mexican website, but never did anything with them. Now, knowing how cool the creep is and how lost this is, I'd be remiss if I didn't share it with y'all. They also link to the Zigochen wiki, which doesn't even exist anymore. Every video is pretty much exclusively audio, with the video itself usually just being a static image. The story of the ARG is about a group of people who are trying to take down the British government. The mystique of this one is probably more interesting than the story itself, as it was completely lost for a while until this guy found it. Pitbull Lover12345 is an obscure YouTube channel that I believe was first discovered on the subreddit r/RBI by username Broke. RBI, of course, standing for Reddit Bureau of Investigation. Wow. The channel is very obscure, and all of its videos have under 10,000 views, and it appears to be run by a severely paranoid schizophrenic person. Videos talking about how they see demons enter their house, their body is covered in parasites and maggots, and also ideas that they're not even human. They definitely show signs of poor health, but while it's what they believe to be gang stalkers or extraterrestrial life forms biologically attacking them, it's actually more likely that this person is addicted to methamphetamines, as we've seen with other similar channels on this iceberg, like Bob Hickman or Help with Advice. Drugs like that can do some real fucked up shit to your body. As of writing this, the channel hasn't posted in 6 years. This guy, in the comments of the very first video on the channel, seems to have done some digging into the subject. According to them, one of the videos on the channel accidentally shows an envelope with a name and address, and the person it was addressed to died in 2017. Granted, his last video was posted in August of 2018, but, you know, maybe they mistyped a year or something. Or it was just a coincidence that someone with that name died, and it doesn't seem like a very uncommon first and last name to have. To this day, we still don't know exactly the story of what happened to Pitbull Lover 12345. 919 Rabbit Bones, a now deleted YouTube channel that's incredibly difficult to find information about. The one Reddit thread I could find that mentions it comes from r/tip of my tongue, and they're asking about a video essay about the channel, about 30 to 4 minutes in length, and titled some shit like, a disturbing YouTube mystery. Yeah, it doesn't really narrow it down there, buddy. Luckily, there appear to be archives of this channel's videos by Stefano Gerardo Della Pia, uploaded as early as 4 weeks ago, so thanks, Stefano. Anyways, yeah, these videos don't really seem to be saying much. I think this is another failed ARG. They give off somewhat of an interesting aesthetic, but like many others on this tier, the fact that it's so obscure is more interesting than the videos themselves. Okay, so this story comes to us from our favorite bullshitter, the fucking Tekkit Realm again. Allegedly, this is a Chinese YouTube channel that's live streaming 24/7 from the surface of the moon. In the fucking sky. Now, unlike a lot of other The Tekkit Realm videos, you can actually find evidence of this channel existing on the internet, because it's still up, although it's not streaming anymore. The last stream VOD they have up is pretty cool looking. Definitely fake, but it has a creepy atmosphere that you'd probably get from being on the moon. The channel was most likely faked by the Tekkit Realm though, to no one's surprise. People could literally find him creating the channel and subscribing to himself as he was making the video, and also, like, every other one of his videos is made up. You guys should know this by now. Still though, I think this is one of his cooler ideas. I always fuck with the moon. The moon's cool. Oh my god, wow. I don't even know what to say about this one. Pot of play, what the fuck do you have me looking at? Alright, so the red ring is the first and hopefully only Sonic.exe related entry on this iceberg. The channel started uploading in 2020, notably before the release of Friday Night Funkin'. So, you know, at least that's how you know they're real Sonic.exe fans. You know, some real old heads. They're not gonna try to talk to you about Lord X. The Red Ring is a recently founded organization that strongly believes in the powers and existence of Sonic.exe and the presence he has on our world. We wish to share his knowledge with the rest of the community. So yeah, basically, the Red Ring is a supposed cult that has formed a religion around Sonic. You know, the cartoon blue hedgehog that runs really fast and, like, collects rings and shit. Except, you know, he's bleeding out of his eyeballs. Most of their videos are somewhat similar to Elder Sign Subliminals, if you remember them from tier 9 or 8 or I don't fucking know who's keeping track. Something I neglected to mention is that this genre of video is actually not a unique thing. People will make these audios that supposedly have supplemental frequencies that do things to you, like make you fall asleep, or hypnotize you, or give you superpowers, or, in this case, turn you into Sonic.exe, or Tails.exe, or Shadow.exe, or Sally.exe, or Silver.exe, or Eggman.exe. You don't even get to be a cool cartoon animal. You're just some, like, old fat guy. Why would you want to be Eggman.exe? What, does the video also teach you how to make robots, too? Here's how to actually become Eggman.exe in real life. Wait like 60 years until you become an old man, and then like peel your skin off. Rouge.exe was also always a funny one to me. Like, that's just Rouge, but with black lipstick, darker clothes, and ear piercing. That's not scary, that's just something you'd see in the average person's Twitter bookmarks. Oh no, Rouge.exe, no, don't, you're gonna get me. Gain the claws of Sonic.exe. Sharp claws, EXE claws. You could have at least used a picture of him where he has claws. Like, he's reaching his hands toward the screen, but those are still Sonic's normal hands. Look, I literally scrolled down Google image results for like 3 seconds and found one where he has claws. There's literally an entire mainline Sonic game, or one of the main plot points is that Sonic has claws. How did you fuck this up that badly? Anyways, after they put Scourge.exe out, really scraping the bottom of the barrel for Sonic characters there, they put out a personality quiz. I got the tortured, in case you're wondering. After that, there was some ARG shit that didn't seem to amount to anything, and then they vanished, and they haven't uploaded since 2022. Which is weird, because that's right when Sonic.exe was getting more popular. They could have made so much ad revenue off of, like, Friday Night Funkin' Kids. Although maybe the idea of mind-controlling little children felt too weird for them, I don't know. Yeah, no, actually, no, that's probably it. It's a more responsible use of a platform than the actual guy who originally created Sonic.exe, so I gotta respect it. Pee is a video created by Magic Butter, apparently. It was uploaded to YouTube by SF in 2020, although the video was actually originally from 2008. The video, according to the post to r/deep into YouTube, features a person covered in cotton wool and duct tape walking around with a weird voice in the background. Now, the video has been featured in a handful of other places. It was featured on Mudahar's Deep Web Browsing, episode 44 to be exact. And also on an episode of Fine Bros WTF Did I Watch This compilation, specifically episode 4. Man, I always appreciate how deep of cuts they do in these videos, but also they do just like the most basic, creepy videos ever. Like the same video that has them reacting to Blink Room Soup had them reacting to Wiggle When You Feel Down, and the same video that had them reacting to Obey the Walrus had them reacting to Mr. Squillington. They might be greedy businessmen who tried to copyright the concept of reaction videos, but man, if they didn't know their YouTube. According to this comment left by the second coming of Lane Cruz, thanks to that guy, the video was actually created by Josh Kimberg on his site Magic Butter, which no longer exists. Surprisingly, Josh Kimberg and Magic Butter are actually mentioned on Wikipedia, which, yes, having a Wikipedia page is a pretty surprising thing for a tier 11 entry. The page they're mentioned on is the page for Bullseye Art, which is a super early web cartoon website / art collective from the mid-1990s that used Flash. And I'm talking about Macromedia Flash, before they got bought out by Adobe, and then killed by Adobe. Bullseye Art was one of the very first sites for art and animation on the internet. It's pretty interesting to go back and look at the actual animations they would produce, because they're definitely very unique and offbeat, as the Wikipedia article puts it.
I am fucking eating this thing whole!
The people at Bullseye Art were truly pioneers, using an animation software that not many were familiar with at the time, and one that would shape the fabric of both the internet and the animation industry. They even apparently worked on some pretty high-profile cartoon segments, like the opening titles for The Rosie O'Donnell Show, which was the very first Flash animation to ever appear on television. Bullseye Art shut down in 2003, but in 2005 the old videos from the site came back under a new name, being Magic Butter, created by the aforementioned Josh Kimberg, and that's where Pee was found, even though it isn't a cartoon. According to his Flickr page, his girlfriend at the time was the one in the costume, and judging from the tense he uses in the post, I believe she's his ex-girlfriend. Also, apparently the video wasn't popular in the States, but was in Europe and Japan. Oh, and also the video was actually called Pee. I don't really know why, but I don't really think you're supposed to know why either. Hunter Hogan is a YouTube channel that seems to have existed since 2006, though he wouldn't start uploading until 2018 and 2019. Now, according to his channel description, he's not actually a YouTuber and is instead a disabled, impoverished homeless person who never wanted to be a YouTuber and only makes videos because support from his viewers has kept him alive. Now, the main thing that drew people's attention to this channel is his videos where he would perform surgery on himself. He does this, of course, because healthcare in America is very expensive, and doing it by yourself is the cheapest option, and you could even gain money from doing it if you upload it online. These videos are currently set to members only, so only paying customers can view them for themselves. Apparently, the first one of these was a skin lesion removal, and the second one of these was a giant tumor he had. It feels like the kind of thing that wouldn't be real, but it absolutely was. Now, this was posted to r/RBI, there it is again, and Hunter actually started posting in this thread and replied to a comment about a blog spot written about him. Basically, in this thread, people started discussing some sketchy things about the guy. He was formerly an attorney, and apparently was found to have been making sexual advances towards a 19-year-old defendant, which was a violation of legal ethics. And he also engaged in criminal sexual abuse of a 17-year-old, who was the victim of a CP case. Yeah, so possibly not the greatest guy ever. If you want a more informed and expansive take on the situation, go watch the Internet Investigator's video on the subject in the description. Karl Mercieca is a Maltan YouTuber, who I believe is on this iceberg for his bouts with chronic severe insomnia, one of the most severe types of insomnia outside of fatal familial, which is the type that Ricard Siagen had. He's been suffering from it for apparently around 5 years now, and he can't sleep without his medication. Now, I know I just said in a quite definitive tone that he has insomnia, as that's what his entire channel says. It's actually up for debate on whether or not he has some kind of medical condition. Not that he is lying about it, but rather he has something where his body is getting sleep, but he doesn't feel like he's sleeping. I don't know, it's a very strange situation, and also an ongoing one, too. Just 2 weeks ago as of writing the script, he uploaded a video talking about his polysomnography report, where the doctor said he slept normally, but he didn't even think he slept at all. So, I don't really know what to make of this channel. And obviously I'm not a doctor, so I don't really feel I can have a super informed opinion. So, moving on, I guess. You Can't Do That on Television was initially a low-budget public broadcasting TV series from Ottawa, Canada, initially aired in the late 70s. It was a sketch comedy series aimed at kids featuring child actors, and it was eventually acquired by Nickelodeon and would become a popular series aired all throughout the 1980s. You Can't Do That on Television would become one of the network's first consistently aired series, far before they even started airing the cartoons that they're known for. It would actually contribute a pretty significant piece of Nickelodeon's iconography and branding, as this is actually where the green slime comes from. That's probably why the slime is green and not orange like the logo. But why isn't the logo green and not orange if they introduced this logo well into the series' lifespan? Like, wouldn't it make more sense? Whatever. You Can't Do That on YouTube was a web series that was loosely based off its television counterpart. Released on YouTube from 2008 to 2010, 20 years after the original show had already ended. To my knowledge, You Can't Do That on YouTube was actually not affiliated with Nickelodeon or the original showrunners in any way, and it was simply a fan series ran by Sterling Johnston Films Canada? California? Kansas? Canada. Now, this series appears to have actually been a part of a child acting class where kids would go to learn how to act so they could hopefully one day become professional actors. So the skits are pretty awkward and kind of just have kids reading off of scripts. The series actually seemed to have been passed around as lost media for a while, though currently every episode is uploaded to Sterling Johnston's channel, unlisted in a playlist. You know, with how this is technically a fan project of a Nickelodeon/Viacom property, I'm kind of shocked that this story doesn't end with a cease and desist letter, but I couldn't actually find the reason why they stopped making episodes of this stuff. I guess the cost for this must have been pretty high, but I would assume the parents are probably paying their kids to go to these classes. I guess they weren't exactly popular, but the episodes kind of just seem like they exist online for friends and family to watch, and also so the kids can put some shit on their resume in 10 years. This channel layout is fucking insane, by the way. I miss old YouTube. Johnston actually said himself that he did it as a response to public access local television becoming more and more obsolete. You see, I'm a bit upset with the way local television has gone. As a kid, I always wanted to have the opportunity to work on a show, but there weren't many opportunities. Some kids had the privilege, but not many, and now it just doesn't exist at all. There's no ground floor work for anyone with the burning desire to work in television. It's honestly a very noble cause to me, so it's cool that something like this even existed in the first place. Even when I was a kid, public access TV was just like local government meetings and shit. I don't care about that. I want some stuff that really represents the community the local TV station is for. You Can't Do That on YouTube definitely gives off that public access television vibe heavily, so I'm happy the format could be remembered in some way. Mother 3 is a role-playing game developed by HAL Laboratory, published by Nintendo, and released exclusively in Japan on the Game Boy Advance in 2006. Though it was never released in America, it's acquired a cult classic status almost on the level of its predecessor, Earthbound. Many consider it to be one of the greatest role-playing games of all time. The story follows a young boy named Yeah, I know, it's talking about the YouTube channel, not the video game. Mother 3, the YouTube channel, actually has nothing at all to do with the game, and mostly consists of a bunch of shitposts centered around this weird image of the Lorax from Dr. Seuss, and also even some horror content. Most of the videos are these bizarre edits that don't really make a whole lot of sense, and they get even stranger as you go in chronological order. Apparently there's an ARG to go along with all this, but I don't think it really amounts to much. It's just meant to be a weird shitpost, which it definitely does its job well. You guys are really excited to hear me talk about this one, but most people also hate when I go over the ARG entries, so I assume that's not what most people are focused on when they talk about this channel. It's definitely not what I'm focused on either. To my knowledge, there's absolutely no information on who's running this channel or why they're doing it. However, they've been uploading fairly consistently for the past 4 years. Though it wouldn't get a whole lot of traction until just last year actually, when Twitter user Marziebars did a quick deep dive on the channel. Except that thread got deleted because they were suspended, so fuck me, I guess. Yeah, you're gonna have to use your imagination for this one. I don't want to risk showing this. Pig Balls is a video uploaded by Xbox 360 Addy in 2010. It's an incredibly low quality Windows Movie Maker slideshow with various images of pigs with giant balls, set to Sunny Day by Akon. It's truly something to behold. Even better than this is the remake done by Nixkip in 2019, which now has new images of pig balls set to All the Single Ladies by Beyonce. This remake is for some reason one of those 360 videos, so if any of you guys have a VR headset, I'm not saying you should go put it on and surround yourself with pig balls, but it's certainly an option. Gotta love the 21st century. Animated profile pictures were actually a feature back on YouTube in 2006, where the site would just straight up allow you to upload GIFs. However, YouTube quickly got rid of this feature and now everyone was stuck with these boring static images. However, for a very considerable amount of time, the picture would be animated as long as you never changed it. Timebreaker 1987 was an example of this, and his profile picture was a GIF of Crash Bandicoot running to the left. However, sometime 7 to 8 years ago, YouTube must have pushed an update and now the GIF no longer works, and Crash is just kinda standing there awkwardly with his arms out. A similar thing happens on Twitter, where people with really old accounts will just have animated profile pictures because they last changed their avatars when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I'm kinda shocked that YouTube was the one to break this functionality before, you know, X, the everything app, blaze your glory. Like, really, YouTube? You're gonna let Elon Musk keep a fun feature that you got rid of? You don't mean to tell me you hate fun more than Elon Musk does, do you? Elon Musk? Really? Let the fucking Bandicoot run, man. FreeCartoonsHD was a channel created back in 2016 with this Rocco's Modern Life profile picture that was supposedly an Elsagate channel. Now, currently, only one video remains on this channel, which is called Rocket Power Season 3, Episode 7, Tito Sitting, obviously meant to disguise itself as a Rocket Power episode. However, when you actually watch it, random clips of Rocket Power interspersed with these two young girls filming a webcam video, and also footage of the KKK lighting a cross on fire, all set to Beautiful by Christian Aguilera. All the comments are just kind of random people saying stuff like, "Lol, Reggie got owned on that half pipe," or "This is so much better than that bullshit on now, 90s Nick is greater than 3. You know, just kind of pretending that this is a normal episode of Rocket Power. All of these comments, of course, being posted by blank YouTube channels that were created the same day the video was uploaded or a couple days later. Weird. Probably safe to assume that these comments and accounts were made by whoever is running FreeCartoonsHD for whatever reason. According to various Reddit posts made when more of the channel's content was available, the other videos would include stuff like 9/11 footage, Harlequin babies, animal sexual intercourse, and other various shock footages. The whole thing kinda reminds me of Cartoon Incorporated, the fake Elsagate channel that Mama Max made up in his head, except, you know, it's actually real. It's so strikingly similar of a story that I'm at least somewhat convinced that this is where he got the video idea from. Although it probably wasn't made by a secret cabal of pedophiles trying to hypnotize kids into being molested, but rather just like an edgy prank. One that seemed to be very short-lived, since the channel only existed for a few days. The channel's owner probably decided that dealing with copyright strikes, YouTube guideline strikes, and also accusations that they're doing this to take advantage of children were probably enough for them to decide it wasn't worth it. Back in 2008, for a very short time, YouTube rolled out this now super obscure feature where when you commented on a video, you got an option for an audio preview. Clicking on this option would read your own comment back at you with a text-to-speech voice.
If you wait a second, it should play back your text.
This is kind of a baffling implementation of this feature, and it honestly makes a whole lot of sense on why they got rid of it. You might be thinking, well, isn't this a good accessibility option? Like, I guess so. I'm sure it helps someone. But the thing is, it didn't work for other people's comments and only for your own, and only if you haven't posted the comment yet. Why would they do this? I'm honestly at a loss for words. It's definitely the kind of thing that's interesting to hear about now. You know, I love that era of YouTube and the internet as a whole, when websites still didn't have what they wanted to do sorted out yet, so they're just kind of throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. But yeah, very few people probably use this, and the feature was removed shortly after it was added.
Hello, my old chum. I'm not a gnolf. I'm not a gnoblin.
Yeah, so Potted Plant actually put this on here twice. Get gnomed, I guess.
As you've already seen in my other video, I accidentally killed a sunflower. Today I took my 2 dogs for a walk, and Xiaomei, the little black one, headed off on her own. The sunflowers, seeing their chance, moved in for the kill. A single sunflower assassin moved in first and crept its way up Xiaomei's neck. Xiaomei began to realize that something was terribly, terribly wrong. I moved in to help her, but the sunflowers all fled before I could get there. But regardless, I was too late. They had already done their damage. They'd already made their kill.
And no, my dog wasn't really killed by a sunflower, for fuck's sake. I ran her over with my scooter. What you just watched wasn't actually what Sunflower's Revenge is referring to. This is a video called Sunflower's Revenge, but on the iceberg the text for the entry is actually yellow, meaning it must be a channel. However, the channel has since been deleted with no known archive available. Now, bear with me for a second. I did a search for the text Sunflower's Revenge, particularly Sunflower's Revenge Reddit, because as I've already talked about, Reddit is the glue that holds all modern search engines together. Now, one of the 2 results I got was from this post on r/China, which is a BBC News report on war crimes carried out by the Chinese government on the Uyghur people. A now deleted comment was left on the post, and in response, someone says in quotation marks, "I swear guys, every Uyghur speaks out is just a paid CIA person, I swear." And then someone else replies, "That's what they all say in the pro-Palestinian r/BDS subreddit." And then another person responds, "So that's what Sunflower's Revenge is talking about while she takes pies to the face." What the fuck are you talking about? This comment got no upvotes or downvotes, and the guy he's responding to just kind of continues talking about whatever he was talking about, and doesn't even stop to think about what Sunflower's Revenge is even referring to. It's like when you're talking to somebody and you just say some insane shit to tell if they're even listening to you. Except it's over the internet. I love it. But this also doesn't answer what Sunflower's Revenge was. However, I found another result for Sunflower's Revenge on unlistedvideos.com. People who don't know, this is a site you can use to store links to videos that channels have unlisted. Now, the Sunflower's Revenge channel has been terminated, so we can't actually watch the videos, but thankfully, unlistedvideos.com provides titles, descriptions, and tags. The first one, posted in 2014, is called Sunflower Instructional Video Part 01, and is tagged with stuff like head creaming, pie in the face, shaving cream, shampooing, and gunge. Alright, so there's some consistency with the fucking Uyghur genocide post, right? They both reference pies in the face. The other video, originally posted in 2013, has a much more telling title and description. Hairdresser for Cindy and Courtney Part 2. This video is from my Facebook friends Cindy and Courtney. I hope you enjoy Hair's complete and total public humiliation Part 2. Hairdresser, a Facebook liberal with beautiful long hair, gets taught a wonderful lesson in humiliation by a group of conservative ladies. He gets his lovely long hair packed full of 6 pounds of Crisco shortening, has a pink bow knotted in his hair in front, has pink cake decoration letters spelling out the name we give him, Miss Shampoo Head, is given a face full of feminine makeup, is forced to wear a pink ladies outfit including bra, panties, and stockings, and then has his liberal head completely pied. He whimpers like a little girl and eventually completely caves in and surrenders like the liberal wimp he is. He is so vain about his long feminine hair that this is the ultimate punishment for him. Or should I say her? Alright, so, wow. Guys, I think this might be a fetish channel. Adding in the liberal versus conservative element to the mix is fucking hilarious, though. I still don't know why this guy brought in this random fetish channel up in a conversation, though, about genocide. Like, do they just, in these videos, do they just start talking about Palestine to drive home the whole leftist character they're doing? That doesn't really sound right, but I don't know, nothing about this channel sounds right. Now I really want to watch these videos to find out what the fuck this guy was talking about, but sadly they're lost media. If only the lost media community cared less about finding preschool shows and more about what actually mattered. You know, humiliation porn videos. What the fuck am I even talking about in any of these videos anymore? None of this means anything. Well, isn't that an edgy username? Slavenation666 seems to be the YouTube channel for the now defunct website Slavenation.com. From the Wayback Machines, it kind of seems like an edgier version of E-Bomb's World or something that had categories like blasphemy and thought crimes. Get a fucking grip, dude. By far the most viewed video on this channel is Boots, Boots, Boots Moving Up and Down Again, which features a whole bunch of grainy black and white war footage set to Taylor Holmes' reading of the poem Boots by Rudyard Kipling. Now, this poem, or chant if you want to call it, is meant to be very repetitive, and is kind of supposed to make you go insane if you listen to it for too long. According to the description of the video, the recording is actually used in SERE training for the military, which is supposed to prepare you for being a prisoner of war. You spend a week in a cage too small to lie down in, naked, being slapped around by douchebag shoe Navy personnel, waterboarded, and starved. And you listen to this.
But boots, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Try to think of something different. Oh, my God, keep me from going lunatic. Boots, moving up and down again.
I believe this has this many views because recently the recording was used for the trailer to 28 Years Later, a currently upcoming film that's a sequel to 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. The other videos on this channel aren't anything particularly of note. There's this one called Slavenation Death Bums where he makes some homeless people advertise the website, presumably for money, and also Slavenation Pumpkin Snuff Film, where he pretends to execute a pumpkin. The channel is definitely a relic of the culture of the old internet. There's something about these old videos that feel super nostalgic despite me never having seen this channel before. Like 2010, that definitely seems about right. PK Temple of C-Script is a video uploaded all the way back in 2008 by DiamondX13. Nowadays, the video appears to just be a minute's worth of gameplay of a work-in-progress Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire ROM hack. However, for a couple years after the video had released, this video was glitched beyond belief. It displayed as only 4 seconds long despite being longer than that, and when you watched it, this shit happened. Yeah, it's straight up some fucking creepypasta shit. According to this person, Kanaizo, on Twitter, who actually messaged me in preparation for me covering this topic, this happened as a result of Fraps, an old video recording software, mixing with the Game Boy Advance emulator Visual Boy Advance. Yeah, for some reason they create a digital Coke and Mentos-esque reaction when you try to record footage of your GBA games, and it creates this malformed MP4 file that YouTube had no idea how to deal with. Well, actually, not to nerd emoji this guy, but it was probably an AVI file. I know because I used to use Fraps to make Minecraft videos when I was a kid, and they would always export as these chunky ass AVI files that were completely uncompressed. A 2-minute screencast of an HD screen may take up 4 gigabytes? Jesus Christ! And that shit was like $40 too. I got that shit for Christmas. Anyways, another example of this can be found in another video by AkvoD3, where he tries to hit a 16-hit combo on the Cactus Wolf from the Lorax GBA game. Kanaizo theorizes that the video data either underflowed or overflowed. The bytes that were meant for the video must have bled into the section meant for the audio, causing the fucked up static noise, and unrelated data probably bled into the video screen, causing the visuals to be all fucked up too. A similar thing is actually replicated in one of my older videos, funny enough. In Capture Test, I was playing Smash 4 for Glory and recording it with this weird capture card I got, and a few minutes in, the audio cuts out and the visuals get all glitched out, probably because I straight up took the file from the capture card and uploaded it to YouTube without editing it or something. I'm sure there are tons of videos like this all across the site. Object thingy. Alright, so just getting it out of the way, this is tier 11's equivalent to the logo community, go animate, blah blah blah. You heard me say it over and over again. I also think this is probably the last one in the entire Iceberg outside of the honorable mention, because I don't see anything in tier 12 or 13 that really jump out as me as being from that community, but I don't know, maybe I'll get proven wrong in the next video. Anyways, object thingy, huh? I don't think anyone really knows what this means. It was started in 2015 on YouTube by the user lolmanxd444, who now goes by Ice Cream Jaxie. I guess what happened is that at one point they changed their name to lolman the object thingy and created an avatar for themselves that was like their logo, but as like a BFDI object show character. So it's like a crossover between the logo community and the object show community. After she did this, many other people in the community would start copying her, changing their name to the username followed by the object thingy, and changing their avatar to a BFDI version of their logo, or a logo of an actual company, or even countries' flags in some cases. The videos people part of this community would be the normal, indecipherable stuff, like applying various edits to logos on Sony Vegas, especially the Klasky Shupo logo. I swear to God, it's always the Klasky Shupo logo, isn't it? Maybe it's because they're fucking babies. Jaxie apparently said that she didn't want everyone to start using the object thingy name, but no one really listened to her, so she just kind of gave up. I actually got some level of insider knowledge about this community when I joined the Misadaxio Discord. A lot of the people there are former members of the object thingy community, and I don't think it's a stretch to say that the communities are at least adjacent to one another. I even got in contact with Ice Cream Jaxie herself briefly, and she helped me to understand what the hell was going on. So you could probably argue that the Misadaxio channel is an evolution of the weird edits that went on in the object thingy community, which apparently mostly died out around 2019 once they all, like, grew up. I mean, it started in 2015, and most of the people in this Discord are in their early 20s at most, which would mean that they were likely, like, 12 or 13 when they were a part of this community. I wish I had more to say about Object Thingy, but it's just kind of what logo kids will call themselves sometimes. Someone on r/Internet Mysteries stumbled onto the Object Thingy community a while back, and they were just, like, totally confused, thinking it was, like, people exploiting the copyright system, or hackers, or an ARG or some shit, like, no, it's just kids being weird. Also, I don't think this part of the video is going to be, like, decipherable to 99% of my viewers, and most of you are probably watching or listening to this with, like, a glazed over look in your eyes. Anyways, here's Klasky Shupo Vor. Mr. Piggy Dies in 25 Dimensions is an absolutely insane and honestly avant-garde animation created by college student Josh Sennert in 2014, which won the grand prize for Cartoon Brew's Student Animation Festival. I don't even know how to describe this one. It's 18 minutes and you honestly just need to watch it for yourself. For a short amount of time, back in March 2021 it looks like, you could like and dislike a video at the same time and it would actually count both votes, so it wasn't just for show. It seemed to be shockingly easy to do, like you literally just had to click one and then click the other. This must have gotten patched pretty quickly as this is a very obscure one, although it also wasn't really the kind of thing that would have any effect on the site in any meaningful way. Like you technically can recreate this by liking a video and then logging into another account and then disliking it. RG Jubilee, a channel ran by a nice Christian lady named Rosalie Graziano, is, along with Kathleen Daniel, possibly the holy grail of weird outsider art channels made by boomers. Her most popular video, with about 80,000 views, is Jan and Phil Enlow, Just for Kids CD animated by RosalieGraziano.wmv, and it's about 32 minutes of these photographs edited to be singing, and while it's very much unintentional horror.
People would hear me say, I wanna be like Daddy, I wanna be like Daddy, 'cause if I grow up to be just like Daddy, you'll be pleased with me.
That being said though, Rosalie is actually a very multi-talented woman. Specifically, she makes a lot of homemade animatronics that are honestly very impressive, and she shows them off a lot in her other videos. It's a very impressive, albeit pretty niche thing to be skilled at. People seem to respect her work pretty heavily in the animatronics community, though that community still seems pretty small, even with the cultural impact of, you know. Going back to her original video though, it would seem as if the comments were getting a little too mean to her, so she had to disable them. That really sucks, doesn't it? The Reddit army strikes again, I guess. Thankfully, it didn't deter her from doing what she does at all, and that's all you can really ask for. She still uploads to this day. Rudolph the Tall White Alien is a German YouTube user who started posting videos back in 2015. This guy is one of those crazy conspiracy nuts who believe that white people are not like other races in some way. I mean, that's like a pretty common theory amongst conspiracy people, right? Like, whether they believe that white people are superior, inferior, or somewhere in the middle differs between interpretations, but most conspiracy people definitely believe that there's something up with them. This guy, being a white person himself, even calling himself an Aryan, surprisingly thinks that white people aren't even human and are actually extraterrestrial life forms. I don't know why this guy blew my cover like that. I gotta get back my fucking rocket ship and fly back to planet Xenon. I'm not really sure if he's trolling or not, judging from the tone of his comments. He's also been posting stuff consistently for the past decade, and it's all a bunch of conspiracy stuff. But I still think he's playing a character. I don't know, his videos are entertaining either way. Kent G. Anderson is a probably mentally ill man who runs a YouTube channel, who seems to suffer from anxiety and depression. He has over 1,000 videos uploaded, a staggering amount for just a single person. Most of these are short, nigh incoherent rants about how he has a vision for the future of the world, and for world peace to be established. Nothing he really says makes a whole lot of sense, and it's a lot of word salad, similar to a lot of people with schizophrenia on YouTube. He also links to his website, futurevisionaries.com, which he claims is a company he is the president of. I will say, that's a pretty cool logo. On this website, he rambles about things like his vision of making a global platform of innovation, and for some reason, trademark disputes with Pep Boys. I don't want to make this out like I'm making fun of him or anything, but it's pretty unintelligible. Now, in his comment section, I noticed that there's a whole lot of Turkish people commenting. Granted, they comment pretty kind words, which is good, but it's still weird that there's such a high concentration of comments in that language when Kent's videos are in English. Apparently, they all come from this video by Turkish YouTuber Efe Idol, called The Man Who Has Been Shooting the Same Video for 14 Years, and yeah, I guess he kind of has been doing that, hasn't he? Sort of clickbait because the title makes it sound like he hasn't actually taken his finger off the record button for the past 14 years, but he has been posting pretty much the same video over and over again. I guess this guy must have encouraged his viewers to shower Kent Anderson with love, as that would explain the high amounts of Turkish comments. Kind of like a more successful version of the spicy ham situation in the last part, but yeah, I don't know. I hope his vision comes to fruition. You're probably familiar with the built-in membership feature on YouTube, where creators can allow their viewers to pay a subscription so that they get extra content, shoutouts, or just donate to the channel, similar to Twitch subbing. One of the possible benefits you can add is membership emojis, which can be used in comment sections and chat as long as you're paying for them. However, a while back an exploit was discovered that let people use membership emojis without being a member. And by exploit, I mean like literally all you had to do was just type out the name of the emoji instead of looking it up on the emoji search menu. Yeah, I really don't know how this one got past YouTube, to be honest. That seems like a pretty obvious oversight. It's not even really an exploit, it's just like a YouTube feature just like not working at all. By the way, I think this might be the last website glitch entry on the entire chart. I could be wrong, and one of these channels or videos in the last 2 tiers are glitched, but I'm pretty sure this is the case. It's crazy how far into the iceberg we've come. Wait, this is fucking beautiful. Okay, so this video is called Bubbles in Blue Dream, uploaded by Monkey Grand all the way back in 2006. It's literally just a loop of bubbles playing set to An Ark of Doves by Brian Eno. And I don't know, something about this is just so like calming. Like, it really just puts me in a pleasant mood. It feels like it could be one of those internet checkpoints. Maybe this Iceberg has just driven me fucking insane over the past 3 years, but it's honestly one of my favorite videos in the entire series. I mean, it's definitely helped heavily by the fact that it's Brian Eno, but also the way the audio is bit crushed so, like, gently. Does that make sense? Like, it's a very tender and warm bit crush. Again, I think I might just be trying to glean meaning from something where there is none, but I don't know. All the comments on this video are from 5 years ago because someone posted it to r/deep into YouTube. That means that this video went 13 years without cracking 800 views or getting a single comment. I can't imagine how it must have felt to have stumbled upon this video for the guy who posted it. The other video on the channel is Mirror of Reality, which is another video like the previous, this time with a mirror lens set to another song from the same album. This and 1AU from a few parts back have very similar and very pleasing aesthetics to me. Definitely some of my favorite things I've discovered through this series. Jesus AAA and Father 58 are respectively the older and newer channels of this guy.
So 46 is a double of 23. Tidally in 3 letters in the word poo, and P equals 26 equals God equals I am plus 3. Okay, and we even call this the number 1 and this the number 2. Put the 2 together, you get obviously a triple I am construct, okay?
He seems to be a pretty hardcore Christian, and the way he expresses his faith is by trying to prove the existence of God, with patterns in the gematria of random things. Gematria, of course, being the ancient practice of assigning a number value to each letter in a name, and like adding them all up, and trying to find patterns where there really isn't anything. Like, he's really obsessed with the number 3, right? Because to him it's like the God number. You know, Holy Trinity, Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, and all that. So he just kind of looks for random objects and words and tries to make out God in them. Like, he pulls out a box of Cheerios and said Cheerio adds up to 63, which is a multiple of 3, so God's real. Or his headphones, or Doritos, or Brad Pitt, or even pee and poo.
In fact, it's going to be I am times 3 plus 3, of course. I am times 3 plus 3, which equals Jehovah plus 3. Okay.
He basically has the exact same gimmick in every single one of his videos, all 8,000 of them across both of his channels. Most people agree that he's probably mentally ill. I hate to say that for like literally every entry, but a lot of the time that's probably the case. His internal logic probably works pretty similar to Gene Ray, you know, the time cube guy, where his pattern-seeking brain works overtime to find patterns from places where there is literally nothing. He stopped uploading 3 years ago for some reason. I assume he probably has a new channel somewhere. Yeah, it's another one of these. Backup Data is a channel that was active in 2015. Based on that video we just watched, I was kind of expecting this channel to have like 50,000 videos or some outrageous number like that, but it actually only has a measly 21. This channel, unlike the other WebDriver torso-esque channels, actually seems to have some level of meaning to it. These ones and zeros don't really seem like much full screen, but when viewed as a thumbnail, you can very clearly make out a cross. I think this is another one of those ARGs, and you know, ARG adds up to 26, which is also what GOD adds up to, so this is another one that has a lot of Turkish people commenting, but unlike the last one, there's no kind person who's pointing me in the direction of a Turkish YouTuber who covered this. I don't think this ARG really amounted to anything though. No one really seems interested in solving it, and it's coming up on its 10th birthday. It's also possible it's not even an ARG and just some abstract art. Whatever, I don't know anymore. Maurice Harper is a mysterious YouTube channel created in 2016, and over the span of about 12 days in July 2016, would upload around 3,000 nearly identical videos. Each video would be titled Lil Karen, followed by what appears to be keyboard mashing. The videos themselves are all around 3 to 5 seconds, and featured this guy sitting in front of a webcam and just kinda doing stuff. Sometimes he's talking to someone, other times he's typing, but I don't really think he's cognizant of the fact that he's being recorded. Or he is and he just doesn't give a fuck. Lil Karen is actually his stage name, and he has a couple of songs released, so I assume it's getting that from some display name he has somewhere on his phone or laptop. The Internet Investigator actually did a super deep dive, or at least as deep as you possibly could go with something like this, you know, looking at his Facebook and shit, and long story short, she couldn't really find a good reason as to why he was making these videos. Maybe he was trying to record a video and it just kept starting and stopping again 3,000 times, and then he uploaded every single attempt to YouTube one after another. Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense, does it? I don't know, you can go look at his channel and make of it what you will. I honestly have no clue. The Epic Girls Daily is a channel that no longer exists, with very little of the videos being archived. The channel was geared towards a younger audience, and it was a collaboration channel between many teenage girls, similar to 7 Awesome Girls, except instead of it being run by a sexual predator, it was also run by a teenage girl. There's really not a huge amount of information about this channel, to be honest with you. I believe the reason this is on here is because of this person on Reddit, Nene Fun, who has put the Epic Girls Daily in a lot of their posts to r/Iceberg charts, as it was a childhood favorite of theirs. And Potted Plant just kind of integrated that. This style of channel showing up on the Iceberg always has me concerned, but I don't think there was ever anything strange going on with it, so that's good. Their Instagram is still up, and it links to this channel, The Manifest Vegan. I'm not quite sure if this is one of the eponymous Epic Girls or the person who originally made the channel, but they seem to have rebranded it into just a solo channel. Medicine Habla Español Habitat Medicine is a fucking mouthful, and apparently is a channel that no longer exists. I couldn't find absolutely anything about this. Potted Plant says it's a channel that did medicine-related content, which, given that the title has the word medicine not once but twice, yeah, I'd fucking hope it did medicine-related content, before switching into bizarre conspiracy videos. Or it's the other way around, I don't know. He possibly could have found it from a video talking about strange YouTube channels, but he couldn't find the video or the original channel. So yeah, I don't know. If anyone has any information about Medicine Habla Español Habitat Medicine, then please let me know. Okay, this is one channel I feel the need to reiterate to specifically YouTube themselves that just because I cover something in these videos does not mean I support the channel. And I definitely do not support this one because, like, Jesus Christ. Beast Barracks, also known as the Temple of Blood, is a channel created back in 2015. From what I can gather, this seems to be some kind of Satanist group affiliated with the Order of Nine Angles. The Order of Nine Angles is a militant, occultist, terrorist group in the United Kingdom. I didn't even know these guys existed. According to the Wikipedia page, the group advocates a spiritual path in which practitioners are required to break societal taboos by isolating themselves from society, committing crimes, embracing political extremism and violence, and carrying out acts of human sacrifice. They also want to create a fascist Aryan society, which is standard neo-Nazi stuff, but in particular, they want to colonize the entire Milky Way galaxy. More than that, the group has actually committed hundreds of real acts of terrorism, including sexual abuse, ritual sacrifice, and child molestation and prostitution. Despite existing since the 1960s, almost all of these happened in the past, 6 or 7 years. Yeah, these guys are obscure, but, I mean, they're the real fucking deal, apparently. In 2020, U.S. soldier Ethan Melzer was charged with terrorism for sending information on his unit to the Order of Nine Angles in order to plan an ambush on his own unit. Something else I'd like to bring up that only happened after I started editing this video is that both the recent December 16th, 2024 school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin, and the even more recent January 22nd, 2025 shooting in Nashville, Tennessee, were carried out by a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old respectively, who were online friends on Discord, and were even theorized to be groomed into doing it by the Order of Nine Angles, or one of its many spin-off groups. They operate completely outside of, and even against the idea of ethics. They have several subdivisions too, such as the United States-based Atomwaffen Division, and of course this one, the Temple of Blood. Spelled incorrectly. Now, according to them, the Temple of Blood is officially independent from the Order of Nine Angles, but it has the same ideology from what I can gather. According to mappingmilitants.org, the group is run by Joshua Caleb Sutter and his wife Jillian Hoy. They also run Martinet Press, an extremely far-right book author that publishes neo-Nazi books like Iron Gates, Liber333, and The Devil's Koran. The couple also, of course, operates Beast Barracks, the YouTube channel that's on the massive YouTube Iceberg. Yeah, come on, pay attention. Knowing all of that, what sticks out to me first about this channel is their profile picture. I don't know if they know their World War II stuff, but, like, I don't think you can like Nazis and Soviet at the same time. Like, they're pretty diametrically opposed, aren't they? Unless, of course, you only like the fact that they killed people, which, I mean, yeah, I guess that kind of ends up working out, doesn't it? They have a WordPress page linked on their channel description, which was taken down at some point for violating a WordPress terms of service. And yeah, judging from the Internet Archive of this site, it seems like it was a bunch of stuff advocating for violence and murder. How about the actual videos on the channel, though? Most of them are simply advertising the books, there's really not much going on there, and the only one that immediately jumps out to me is the first one, Confiscated Kyanite Altar Ritually Desecrated. This video is 10 seconds long and features a masked man firing a semi-automatic at something, which I guess is supposed to be an ancient Arabic historical altar. The man in the video is supposed to be an anonymous Temple of Blood member. It's debatable whether or not this video is actually real. There's a good chance it isn't because I couldn't really find any news article on any kyanite altars being desecrated. I also wouldn't doubt it though because, well, you know. You know what's crazy though? Apparently this guy, the leader of Temple of Blood, Joshua Caleb Sutter, is an FBI informant, and he's been working with them since 2003. He's been giving them information about the insane cults he's been involved with. Now that's not to say he's just faking all this, I think he's definitely an insane neo-Nazi Satanist occultist. He still publishes books, most likely with the help of the money the government gives him. There's a whole Wired article, link in the description, that goes further in detail, but shit gets really insane. I would highly recommend reading it. Oh, and also, the channel is still up, by the way. I mean, like, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Produce 1987 PC8801 horror strategy game is a gameplay video for Produce, a 1987 PC8801 horror strategy game. I mean, yeah. More specifically, Produce is a very obscure Japanese horror game made by DB Soft, surrounding 4 friends named Toshio, Sayaka, Tina, and Gilbert, as they go on a vacation together. Toshio, the main protagonist of the game, had a huge crush on Sayaka, but, as it would turn out, Sayaka actually loved Gilbert instead. Imagine getting fucking cucked by a dude named Gilbert. My god, dude. So Toshio discovers a monster living in an abandoned house, who says that he can make a deal with him. If he brings his friends into the abandoned house, then the monster will brainwash Sayaka into loving Toshio instead of Gilbert, and you'll live happily ever after in an incel paradise free of chads. So the game involves setting traps in this Pac-Man maze, and you have first-person views from Gilbert, Sayaka, and Tina. I don't know what Tina has to do with any of this. I guess she just kind of got roped in. The game is actually pretty impressive looking for 1987. My favorite part definitely being the UI. It's supposed to be the innards of the monster, which is a really cool concept, even though it kind of ends up looking like a Furby with its eyes and mouth closed. The game also has this minimalist soundtrack that's really good at setting the unsettling tone. Spoilers for Produce incoming, but by the end of the game, you actually see Sayaka naked, like just completely naked, and then she gets absorbed into the monster. Toshio, you fucking dipshit, now no one can have her. The credits roll and the game's main designer, Mitsuhiro Abe, just starts like talking about the game's themes to you. Yeah, thanks, I didn't want to think about them for myself. Anyways, yeah, the game looks pretty cool. I didn't play it myself for this video or anything like I did for Station.exe, but I definitely respect it. That being said, DBSoft actually made another horror game that got banned in Japan. This is a game called 177 and involves you chasing down a girl and eventually sexually assaulting her. Yeah, so, I mean, maybe I don't really respect Produce. I'm kind of surprised that's not the one in the Iceberg, considering that's somewhat more interesting of a story, but whatever. On YouTube, there exists a very small community of people who enjoy setting clothes on fire and watching them burn. The first channel of these I found was the Fire Burning channel, who has around 200 videos of him burning random shit, mostly consisting of clothing. The comments on these videos aren't as weird as other channels like it, but they're still worthy of raising an eyebrow. People saying stuff like, "Beautiful video, my favorite love gene belonged to you," and asking somewhat strange questions like asking if the genes belong to the uploader's daughter. Hi, no, it's just some random genes I found. You think girls or boys? I do not know. Never thought about it. Beautiful video, my favorite love gene belonged to you. Yeah, I guess these genes are, Pretty small, huh? Like, compared to this guy's hand. Well, I'm sure it's not a fetish, right? Like, just because there's a community of people on YouTube surrounding a certain thing doesn't necessarily mean it's for sexual reasons, right? A lot of the most popular videos on the fire burning channel are the ones centered around shoes and women's clothing. The second to most popular video is both, being high-heeled shoes and... whew boy, the comments on this one. Can this be done on a female leg? No injury, clean. What a total waste of gorgeous heels. They could have been sold for someone else to have some fun with. Not this way either. Polluting. What do you mean by have fun with? These shoes had to be worn by a tall woman because they are large. The right shoe rolls up, the insole from the hot fire comes off and twists, just like in the other shoes I have burned. When the right shoe is completely bound by the fire, the left shoe is just beginning to get skin burns. Unfortunately, after a while, it also shrinks and burns like the twin left shoe. A very good video where you can observe the uneven fight of women's shoes with hot fire. The boots have lost the firefight, and I have a reason to jerk as usual. Oh, okay. Not how I was expecting that comment to end. Really hot high heels. It's a great feeling to see them suffer like that, and you get really horny for... Okay, we're done here. I kind of feel bad for the guy uploading these videos because I think he just likes burning stuff with no sexual attachment whatsoever, but the only people who watch his videos are people jerking off to it. I'm definitely willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. However, the same can't be said for another clothing burning YouTuber I discovered, Burn2 Shoes, who makes videos almost exclusively around setting his female friends' shoes and clothes on fire. This guy is kind of fucking depraved. Every video, he has a sentence or two in the description about how the shoes will collapse and die in agony, or some other violent language like that. Self-admittedly, burning shoes is his fetish. I mean, he says it right there. In one video, he shows off that his friend and her daughter gave him their shoes. The daughter? Not the fucking daughter, man. A young bitch's size 36 high-heeled flip-flops will also suffer. Like, come on, dude. You're taking shoes from your friend's daughter, burning them, and then calling her a bitch? I don't even want to know how young the daughter supposedly is. I suppose there is the possibility that he's just buying these shoes himself with whatever disposable income he has, and that all this borrowing from friends shit is just roleplay. He does have over 300 videos of this shit, all with increasingly fetishistic descriptions, comments, and just general undertones. Like, there's no way a guy like this not only has this many female friends, but also enough that are willing to give him their shoes, and also burn them for his fetish YouTube channel. Actually, no, that's really unbelievable. That feels like total bullshit. But, I mean, maybe he just gets play like that. I don't fucking know. So yeah, finding these channels from searching burning clothes won't result in much, but you can look up burning shoes and find a ton of channels dedicated to this hyper-specific thing, and a handful of comments on each video fucking jerking their chicken to it. Off YouTube, there's even forums dedicated to the fetish, like a sub-forum on muddyhighheels.com. Sometimes I need to take a step back and wonder how the things I say in the series sound out of context. It's so strange, like how do you even have this fetish? Do you like have a fetish for like killing women and setting them on fire, but you realize that's illegal, so instead you just resorted to setting women-related objects on fire instead? Or do you just have a foot fetish that you like leveled up all the way? Except normally dudes with foot fetishes are like worshipping women's shoes. So I guess this is like the opposite of a foot fetish. I'm completely at a loss for words. Alright, so James Ferraro 9/11 Simulation in Roblox Environment 2017 is pretty self-explanatory, right? It's a 7-minute long video from 2017 directed by contemporary artist and experimental musician James Ferraro. He's kind of that guy when it comes to bizarre art and experimental music. He's often credited with being one of the very early pioneers of music genres like vaporwave, hypnagogic pop, and oh, utopian virtual, there you go. This video is a simulation of the September 11th Twin Towers attacks in Roblox, set to the music from his album Anthrospray, Music for Extinction Renaissance. Except instead of 2 airplanes piloted by Al-Qaeda extremists, here it's committed by a bunch of fidget spinners. Enough fidget spinners to make it seem like the computer it's running on is gonna have a heart attack. This video was actually shown in one of James's art exhibitions in Stockholm once upon a time, which seems kinda crazy, but this video actually does appear to be making a statement. No, I don't know what that statement is, but I know there's one it's making, trust me. You can even find it on Letterboxd, and there people are pretty conflicted on whether or not this art piece is even worth anything. Some people are rating it half a star, like, what is this shit? This has no value whatsoever. Others are rating it 5 stars ironically, and others are rating it 5 stars unironically. It's one of the most controversial films on the site. This video of fidget spinners flying into the Twin Towers on Roblox, it's just amazing. The music is definitely cool though. It really makes me want to get into James Ferraro's other projects. Life on Earth is a channel that just kind of seems to upload miscellaneous weird videos. Their most popular video is eating pizza with a knife and fork for some reason, where they literally just eat pizza with a knife and fork. But there's also other self-descriptive videos like shirt drying real time, where you watch a shirt dry for 9.5 hours, or looking out the car window, where you look out the car window, pears falling downstairs, where pears fall downstairs, and a fleshy lump swings its pivoting masses, where, well, you know. Life on Earth has been posting basically whatever they want for the past 8 years, and they've posted over 800 videos. I gotta respect this one. Pinhead Singing exclusive video is a video uploaded by Sandman368 in 2012, and the title for this one is actually slightly misleading, since the video is actually of a human lip-syncing Elton John, while next to a mannequin Pinhead who isn't moving or singing at all. Yeah, complete clickbait. Life on Earth would never do me like that. I really like how old this video looks. You can tell he made it in the late 90s or early 2000s. People seem to think this video is scary, which, like, yeah, I get it, but I don't know, it's honestly very charming. This is what YouTube should be like. On September 11th, 2016, in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, a 15-year-old student named Carter Boyles would walk into Cedar Rapids High School, carrying a firearm with the intent to cause a school shooting. However, before he could shoot anyone, he actually pulled the gun on himself, taking his own life right there in the school's auditorium. After the event, people would investigate his digital footprint, and he found that he had a YouTube account called Bob8466. These videos would be pretty edgy and the kind of stuff you'd expect from a future school shooter, including videos idolizing and simulating Columbine and other various shootings. His profile picture was Cho Sung Wei, the perpetrator of the Virginia Tech shooting. He also happened to be an Encyclopedia Dramatica fan. While not having an account, he was a member of the Steam group and was even noted to be friends with William Atchison, the other Encyclopedia Dramatica shooter. Yeah, wow, maybe having a high score page for shootings will lead people to use the site to try to get on it. No, but it's okay, guys. It's for the lulz. OMSJ is a screamer video originally uploaded to YouTube in 2016 by Adrian Confrancesco. It starts with this girl speaking Russian in a very quiet tone, saying something about people assuming that little North bears can't smile. Then a whole bunch of random screamer images flash on screen with a loud noise playing. Pretty standard screamer video, but I do wonder who the girl is. Like, is she the person who uploaded it? I don't know. Super Mario 64 Big Star Secret. This is one you're probably familiar with if you're an avid Iceberg Explained or Lost Media content connoisseur. If this Iceberg were made a couple years later, I'm sure it probably wouldn't be so far down, since it's gained a pretty significant amount of popularity in the past few years. But hey, what are you gonna do? For those of you who don't know, let me explain. According to the Lost Media Wiki, on August 15th, 2007, a YouTube user by the name of LotusMan17 uploaded a screamer video by the name of Super Mario 64 Big Star Secret. It would later be deleted from his channel in early 2012. The video itself had a slightly modded version of Super Mario 64, where Mario wore blue instead of red, and the castle's gray brick texture was swapped with a black one that Lotus had made himself, and also the addition of a door. The video supposedly had Database by Alexander Pearls playing, an early audio swap song that was made by the same guy as 009 Sound System. The video was made in Windows Movie Maker, and contained several text captions providing steps on how to unlock Luigi in the castle's courtyard, the big star of course referring to the Ella's real statue in the fountain. You'd have to kick the boo, run around the fountain, and do the kind of obscure tasks that many videos of this time period would make you do. But then a screamer would pop up, indicating that the video was fake. Now why has this gotten so popular? Well, if you couldn't tell, all archive of this video has completely vanished off the face of the internet. Sometime in 2012, Lotus deleted the video thanks to the large amounts of harassment, hate comments, and even death threats he was receiving in the comment section. People were just really mad that the big star secret was fake, I guess. To this day, the only proof of the video's existence is this reaction video on it. Little brother getting scared, a late reaction. Look, see? There it is. It's real. The video has gained a huge following of people trying to track it down. It might seem kinda silly, trying to track down a shitty screamer video that will be old enough to serve in the United States military in a few months, but I think what's so intriguing about this one is that it really wasn't an obscure video. It got around 700,000 views before being deleted, and that's certainly nothing to scoff at. It's also the kind of video that a lot of people either saw it, or at least they think they saw it, because there were so many videos like it back in the day that it's certainly possible. I mean, I probably saw it. Maybe. I don't know. To this day, the video has never been found. People have looked all over for it and even made countless recreations, but we still don't have one that we can definitively say was the true original. Definitely one of the stranger lost media cases, I have to say. LOL Talking Fetus is a video first discovered by Shrouded Hand on PetiteTube in his 5 Disturbing PetiteTubes video. LOL Talking Fetus is also the last entry on this iceberg that originates from this video. So now we've 100%ed both Shrouded Hand and Rainbot's videos on PetiteTube. Nice. This video, which has since been removed by the uploader, or uploader has been removed by YouTube, not sure, featured a man making these weird, almost maniacal noises as he rattled what appears to be an unborn fetus around in a bucket. And that's pretty much the entire video. Shrouded Hand featured this in its entirety in this video, but kept it censored, and that version of the video still exists today. However, shortly after this video was posted, LOL Talking Fetus was removed from YouTube, and nobody got an archive of it. People seem to discuss the veracity in the comments, and some people seem to think it's fake, not lining up with what an actual human fetus looks like. This all happened 8 years ago, and I feel like it isn't a stretch to say that the average internet goer was a lot more gullible back then. Maybe this video is the kind of thing that you look back on it in a few years and wonder how anyone could have even thought it was real to begin with. However, we can't actually do that because, of course, the original uncensored version of the video is currently completely lost. Which honestly probably does numbers for the video's shock value all these years later. With no way of knowing what the original video looked like behind the pixels, everything is left to the viewer's imagination. It's funny, the video is probably a lot scarier censored than it is uncensored. I doubt it was intentional on the uploader's part, but if it was, then they're honestly a genius. Making Nepal is a channel which was apparently run by Nepali citizen Arjun Shiwakoti, who was also, according to him, an official of the World Hindu Foundation. The channel, from what I can tell, kind of seems to be a variety channel, recording various news and happenings in the country. Now, I can't actually tell which videos are the ones that feature Arjun Shiwakoti, since there's not really any reliable imagery of the guy, or at least the one I'm talking about. There's an actor named Arjun Shiwakoti, but he's from India and not Nepal. He's also had acting roles in 2021 and 2022, which wouldn't make much sense if it was the same one I'm talking about. Why wouldn't it make sense? Well, the Arjun Shiwakoti I'm talking about was arrested on July 5th, 2020 on account of sexually assaulting 2 girls aged 12 and 14 years old over the course of about 14 months. Pretty fucking shitty guy. It must suck to share a name with him. What confuses me about this one is that the channel still uploaded throughout this investigation. In fact, 2020 was when the channel really started to upload a lot of videos, which wouldn't make much sense if he was really the person running the channel. But if you look up his name in the channel's videos, you get a lot of results. Maybe it exchanged owners once he got arrested, I don't know. The channel was also renamed sometime in the past 5 years, from Making Nepal to Making Nepal. The first one has Nepal capitalized, and the second one has Making capitalized. I have no idea why. Ryan Bane. So this guy is kind of a mystery. Back in the early days of YouTube, a channel called Ryan Bane TV emerged onto the platform. The guy's videos would be mainly music videos, focusing on him acting really sexual and just like gay. One of his songs was called Christmas, where he's shirtless with a Santa hat on, singing about how he had sex with Santa Claus and it made him gay. Or Prince Charming, where he sings about how seductive and hot he is. These videos were possibly ironic, but he was really playing into the character, I think. Several of his videos got reaction videos, and people didn't really seem to like him.
Oh, please stop. What kind of video is this? Who sent me this? What is wrong with this kid? He's probably forever alone. Yeah, he's forever alone. This kid's just forever alone.
Now, sometime over the years, Ryan Bane not only deleted all of his videos, but effectively scrubbed any trace of himself off the internet for good. Re-uploads of his videos are extremely hard to find, and the only things related to him you can even find are videos indirectly talking about him. His videos were even wiped from archive.org, and the Lost Media Wiki deleted a page about his channel. I was able to find archives of a few of his videos by searching for a while, and I didn't know this before watching them, but...
This is so inappropriate. I hope he's over 18, because dude, if he's under 18, this is so wrong. You're making me into a pedophile.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think there's really any way of identifying this, but Ryan Bane was possibly under the age of 18, making these not necessarily explicit, but definitely highly sexual videos. There's no way of really knowing for certain, but he definitely looks sorta young. Again, not enough evidence to really say for sure, but it's a possibility to keep in mind. Even if he wasn't, which I'm hoping is the case, it still makes a whole lot of sense of why he would want to copyright strike any and all mention of these videos. Having what's presumably his real name attached to videos like this can't be good for future job opportunities. Especially since just last year, there was a huge Dateline NBC story about a different person named Ryan Bane. Dude just can't win. There's also the possibility that he could have wiped the videos because of the hate comments and messages he was no doubt receiving on the videos. Whatever the case, I have to wonder where Ryan Bane TV is now. You can still find archives of some of his videos in places if you know where to look, but I'm not going to link them here just in case. Mark Farron Claude Biart was a member of the Ndrangheta Mafia organization, which was one of the most powerful crime syndicates in the entire world, and was instrumental in peddling cocaine across Italy, the Netherlands, and the rest of Europe. He also ran a cooking channel with his wife. Isn't that cute? Yeah, he had been on the run from police from 2014 to 2021 when police finally discovered his residence in the Dominican Republic, thanks to him accidentally showing his tattoos in a cooking video with his wife. Geez, that seems like a pretty obvious thing to leave hidden for such a high prestige mobster. Like, just cover it up, dude. MTo is a Venezuelan YouTuber who appears to primarily make YouTube poops and edits and stuff like that. And he's pretty popular, it seems, with around 80,000 subscribers. I believe the reason he's on the Iceberg is that apparently back in 2021, he was accused of various crimes like watching CP and grooming minors. Apparently, though, the accusations turned out to be false, probably sometime between this Iceberg chart being posted and now. At least that's what Wikitubia says. It's pretty hard to find English language information about the situation, but, I mean, Wikitubia hasn't filmed me yet, I don't think, so that's what I'm going with. If anyone who has watched this guy knows what I just said was false, then feel free to correct me in the comments. The next three entries are all murderers who at one point held YouTube channels. The first one of these, Vucko 0064, was a channel owned by Eric Frein, who at one point was one of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives for being the perpetrator of the 2014 Pennsylvania State Police barracks attack, where he broke into the police barracks and shot 2 state troopers, killing one and injuring another. The resulting manhunt was extensive, lasting 48 days before he was eventually caught in an abandoned airport in eastern Pennsylvania, and then 3 years later he was sentenced to death in 2017. He's apparently still not dead though, 8 years later. I don't know what that's all about. Anyways, yeah, people found out he had a YouTube channel where he would do this, like, airsoft military simulation LARPing thing. Yeah, 2 of the 3 videos on this channel were videos where he dresses up like a Serbian soldier with his friends and reenacts fights from the 1990s Yugoslavian wars. His username is even Serbian for wolf. He isn't actually Serbian, by the way, not even ancestrally, none of these guys are. I'm not exactly sure why he was so obsessed with pretending to be one, but this is a guy that the FBI took 48 days to catch. So, remind me to not fuck with military LARPers, I guess. Wumpscut86 was the YouTube channel owned by Matti Juhani Sari, the perpetrator of the Kauhajoki school shooting in Finland. I've actually technically already mentioned this guy back in tier 10, when I was talking about the other Finnish school shooter, Pekka Erik Avonen, who owned the YouTube channel Natural Selector 89, also known as Sturmgeist 89. Matter of fact, it's very likely that Sari was inspired by Avonen. The shootings both occurred in the span of a year in the same country, which famously has very low gun violence. The two shootings were 2 of 4 school shootings in the entire history of Finland, and the two were also both obsessed with other school shootings like Columbine. Both purchased their guns from the same store, and both had YouTube channels where they posted about their firearms. Even looking at them side by side, it's kinda hard to tell them apart. Apparently though, the two were never in contact, and old Wumpscut was simply heavily inspired by Avonen. Yeah, again, the trend of school shooters having fan bases was, like, really disturbing and weird, isn't it? Like, I don't think that's really, like, an unpopular opinion, but, like, Jesus Christ. Big Slims was the YouTube channel of Vladislav Igorichev Rostlakov, the 18-year-old perpetrator of the Kerch Polytechnic College massacre in Crimea, which is commonly cited as Russia's Columbine. Or Ukraine's Columbine, I'm not willing to get into that. He shot 20 people and wounded 67 others, and then took his own life in the library of the college, just like Eric Harris. And he was also dressed pretty similarly to Eric Harris, and yeah, he even posted about Columbine online, just like pretty much every other school shooter with an online presence. Surprisingly though, that's not actually what he posted about on his YouTube channel, and instead he only had one video. A video of him playing Minecraft on Hypixel. The video would have been uploaded when he was 14, 4 years before he would shoot up the college. It's actually a pretty humanizing perspective on such an awful tragedy. He was literally just a kid who would upload like 5 FPS Minecraft videos, just like I used to do at that age. Damn. This is another one where it's so obscure, I'm kind of shocked it even made it to the iceberg. I mean, I guess it is an iceberg, and that's the point, but like, wow. So, Ivano de Olivia is this channel with around 3,000 subscribers and a little under 200 videos. These videos will kind of just be re-uploads of clips from kids shows, both well-known and somewhat obscure. Like, you got Billy and Mandy and Futurama mixed in with shit like El Show de Belly y Beto, and of course Just in Time, a Canadian cartoon which appears to be Ivano de Olivia's favorite show, judging from the amount of videos he's posted about it, and also both his profile picture and name seem to be themed around Olive, one of the 3 main protagonists of the show, who's a 13-year-old girl. And she's also a country's inhabitant too. Just like any countries? I mean, I'm a country's inhabitant too. She's not special. Now, you go to this character's fandom wiki page, right? And before 2020, there's this one anonymous fandom user who I guess is supposed to be Ivano, just posting about how badly he wants to fuck her. This one guy comments, "I love Olive. She is so hot. Really want to marry her." And then Ivan says, "She is my girlfriend and wife, not yours, you fucking gringo. Olive id my girlfriend and my wife Ate. Ivan." Fuck you, Puto. Other comments of Ivano saying stuff like, "Ivan eat Olive. Ivan and Olive 1000% love. She is my girlfriend. I love you, Olive. Olive is mine of Ivano, and fuck you to bitch gay. Olive is my wife, bitch. Olive is my wife, not you, asshole. Nope, we're married, so get away from my girl." Of course we are married, and we are a big family with 5 daughters. And if not, you think should go to look for another. Just shut up. Force me, idiot. You can't even spell, so shut the hell up. Olive and I have always been together. Fuck you, bitch asshole. He fought against all those who want to make you damaged. Ivano. Hi losers, I'm the Ivano. Me and Olive, we married, and gone 22 daughters and 6 years shipping, all Ivano. Yeah, this guy is fucking insane. Why this character of all things? I think there's a mentality embedded into certain parts of the internet where in order to have a character as their waifu, you need to claim them. Oh, sorry, what do the kids call them these days? FOs? I think that's right. In order to claim them, you either need to prove yourself as the #1 fan of that character by some outrageous means, or you have to pick a character so obscure that no one would ever challenge you for it. With that being said, I'd like to announce my engagement to the little guy from 14/ who, like, runs around. Now, obviously, most people aren't like that, and are okay with the idea that multiple people can like the same character. Ivano, on the other hand, though, definitely seems like a prime example example of that. What even is just in time? I've never even heard of that. Even my friend Ty, who's heard of like every cartoon ever, has never even... Oh wait, no, he's heard of it. Fuck. In the same comment section, you're never gonna fucking believe this, I found a just-in-time Iceberg, and Ivano himself finds himself as the sidebar image of the very last tier. Really? Does just-in-time have a large enough fan base to warrant one of these? And is Ivano like the guy they never want to talk about? Like Zeroth for the Smash community or Shadman for Newgrounds? By the way, guys, if this video gets to 1 billion likes, I'll do the massive just-in-time Iceberg explained next. So don't forget to smash that fucking like button and subscribe and ring the bell notification. Two Girls, One Cup is something that I think needs no introduction whatsoever. Being one of, if not the most iconic shock video of all time, Two Girls, One Cup is a fetish video of two women shitting into a cup, taking turns eating the shit, and then vomiting into each other's mouths. The video gained large amounts of recognition for its use in reaction videos where people will just watch it, usually not showing the video in the audio, and freak out at how disgusting it is.
Ah! Ah! Oh, I'm never gonna be able to eat ice cream again. Oh my god!
Again, I don't think this really needs any introduction. I'm sure you've all at least seen someone reacting to it before if you're lucky enough to not have seen the original video yourself. Little known fact, but the clip is actually a trailer for Hungry Bitches, a Brazilian scat fetish film. But you know what's an even littler known fact? The video was, around 2007 and 2008, originally available to watch on YouTube uncensored. Yeah, just straight up, two girls eating their own shit just right there next to fucking Evolution of Dance and Chocolate Rain. It's a fucking Chocolate Rain, alright. There's not really a whole lot more to this. It's just kind of crazy that the YouTube moderation was that bad back in the day. Although honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the video was still up right now, uploaded with 1 million croppings and filters and tucked away on some double-digit view count upload. Oh boy, I've been waiting for this one. If you remember from my last video when I covered Muddy Matt, the guy who likes swimming around in mud, I bring up the fact that mud isn't the grossest brown thing someone submerges themselves in this tier. You might have been wondering all this time what other brown substance someone could submerge themselves in. Chocolate, maybe? Brown paint, perhaps? Coke, possibly? No, okay, you know what I'm alluding to. Nobody thinks this is cute. Septic 5, sometimes known as Septic 5 Awesome, is a video uploaded to YouTube at least as early as 2012, although thanks to this video getting taken down every once in a while, the exact history is incredibly murky. You know, it's really clogged and unsettled. It has a very messy history. It's a video about... This video features this man in what appears to be a gimp suit, sitting down neck deep in a septic tank, splashing the shit water around, spreading it across his face, and even at one point dunking his entire body underwater. I have to wonder if the gimp mask is actually brown, or if it was just dyed brown after years of work, like a fucked up version of Bardock's bandana from Dragon Ball Z. This is possibly the grossest video I've ever seen uploaded to YouTube, or at least in the top 10. I don't know, Nickbait definitely gives it a run for its money. The video has actually gotten some level of publicity over the years. Only a year ago, Justin Wang did a video on the subject, which you should watch after this if you're also interested in the story. Mega64 constantly reference it on their podcast.
What video should you watch? Okay, you know what? Because there was some issue because we made it for another company or whatever, it's not on our main channel, but YouTube search Septic 5, and it's like a kind of a skit that we did. No, it's it's kind of a crazy skit that we did. Yeah, because they're remembering the video.
And it was even featured on Fine Bros YouTubers React. And listen, I know there's been a handful of entries in the past where I've been like shocked that the Fine Bros would include such weird and obscure videos like the ones you'd find in this Iceberg. But this really takes the fucking cake. This kind of makes me mad, actually. Imagine making a Minecraft-themed Usher parody, and 5 years later it results in you having to like sit in front of a camera, these two fucking knuckleheads giving you a shit-eating grin as you watch some dude swim around in poopy water. That's like the definition of evil. That's more evil than the React trademark thing they tried to pull. Now, obviously, you might be wondering about the backstory of this video. My first question was, if there's a Septic 5, what happened to Septic 1, 2, 3, and 4? There actually exists another video of the same man doing the same thing, although it isn't numbered. There's also a Septic 6, although it doesn't seem to take place in a septic tank and also appears to feature a completely different guy. There also exists an infamous Craigslist post by the same man requesting that people let him into their septic tanks. Some might judge me for this, but it's what I enjoy. I will pay you $150 to bring my equipment in and gain access to your septic tank. I then have my associate close the tank after I set my tripod and camera up. Believe it or not, it's a great place to reflect. Could you imagine if it wasn't actually sexual and this guy is just doing to, like, meditate or something? I don't believe him, obviously. The gimp mask isn't really screaming protective to me when the most vulnerable parts of his face are still exposed. You know, unlike Boggy Doggy, of course. You know what the gimp mask did manage to protect, though? His identity. To this day, the man featured in Septic 5 has never been identified. There have been similar stories around a similar time frame, such as a man from Maine who was arrested in 2005 for climbing into a septic tank at a women's outhouse and only got found out when a 14-year-old girl saw a man's face staring back at her in the toilet hole. However, there's no evidence to support the claim that it's the same guy. It's entirely possible that this guy could be fucking dead, too. I don't imagine septic tank diving is the healthiest hobby of all time. Whatever the case, the identity of this man remains as one of the internet's shittiest unsolved mysteries. Oh, what? Was that a lame joke to end the video on? Kiss my fucking ass. I don't see you making a 27-part Iceberg series. And thus concludes Tier 11 of the massive YouTube Iceberg. Man, we're really almost there, aren't we? I don't think it's really hit me yet, the fact that the series is about to end. I spent the past, like, 3 years of my life on this. Part of me is relieved I'm about to be done, so I can finally move on and embrace the world of making whatever videos I want instead of being tied down by a template. But I also feel sentimental towards this series as well. Throughout the past couple of years, I've grown as a content creator and especially a writer thanks to the help of this Iceberg chart, and I really gotta thank Potted Plant because if he didn't make the chart, my ass would be flipping burgers. It's to the point where the earlier parts of the series are barely watchable for me. They'll still be included in the supercut video I plan to make when the series is over, but yeah, I do not like those first couple videos, and I'm not remaking them. Of course, I'd also have to thank my viewers as well. 15,000 subscribers is fucking insane, and I never thought I'd have this many eyes staring at me, especially not to listen to me talk about diving into septic tanks. I honestly started this series unsure if I was even going to complete it in the first place, but you know, I kept on tugging and found myself here. Thank you all for tuning in, and join me next time, hopefully soon, when we finish up the massive YouTube Iceberg.